Dr. Kemi Lawrence, September 27th, 2024. It's Friday. Part 2 of the video I just did on Mr. Aloba and calling for the rallying around this man for solving Mohbad's death. There's a lot of things that are now being exposed and showing up from this Bobrisky case, which is really spreading across a lot of areas in Nigeria and having very sincere and very severe ramifications. Well, let me explain that to you. In that video, I talked about how many people have given up on the Mohbad case. I spoke about how much money, as always, that I spent and what I did and my role in the investigative journalism part, and how no media really, touched the case. There are godfathers and cabals running Nigeria. Primarily, what I said in that video was that Mr. Falana has a lot of accountability to do with regards to Mohbad's death prosecution, and that I accused him of hiding the godfather to Wunmi, and I also challenged him to reveal the name of Bobrisky's godfather and Wunmi's godfather, because these big men are the ones that power in the legal system in Nigeria. Imagine Bobrisky going to a lodge to serve a prison sentence that a judge actually prescribed prison. How many people get that? Look at all the children of poor people in the prison awaiting trial for so long. Nigeria does not have the Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution gives an inmate the right to a speedy trial. And this is going to be something that is going to affect Diddy in the American prison. Diddy is going through a lot right now. They said he's on suicide watch. They said he's not eating because of the fear of being poisoned. There's so much going on with him over there. But one thing he knows, that he's going to get a speedy trial because he has a Sixth Amendment right. Nigeria, we don't have the Sixth Amendment. You sit down in prison until they call you for trial. When I left Port Harcourt prison, many of you remember I went back there to distribute cash to the inmates. Some inmates don't even have bail. If I'm in Nigeria, I don't know. I haven't been to Port Harcourt because of what I went through there. It's just like a city that I may not visit in my lifetime again because of the post-traumatic stress that I went through. But I wish I can go back there and help some of these inmates with their bail so that they can just go home and await trial from outside. There's a lot going on that you don't know. Some of you sit on the internet, on Instablog, commenting and calling people ex-convict names and all. You might be the next one. You don't have to commit a crime to go to Nigerian prisons. I'm telling you, you don't have to commit a crime. There are people in Nigerian prison that didn't even commit any crime, but they're in there because a police officer dragged them in there. All you need to do is one simple thing, and the police officer will arrest you and drop you in prison. I've seen police officers literally asking for bribes. A woman stole a pack of Maggi in a supermarket, and they called the police on her. A shoplifting case, a petty theft. Now, the police took her to CID. In America, they'll take her to the police station. There's a judge in the police station all the time that comes every evening, and the judge will probably give her a $100 bail. She pays 10% of that and she goes home and waits for trial. They also can do that in Nigerian CID cells, but no, they don't. Those officers will ask you to give them 1 million naira or 500,000 to go home, or to just make the charges disappear. Everything is powered by bribery. And so that person will end up in the prison if they can't make that money. And then when we see them in the prison, we now parade them on the first day they come in. Now, on the female side, I was one of the generals. And when we parade them, they tell their story. If we have to beat them after their story based on what brought them in. You know that girl that came in because she used to kill babies for rituals and all that. We beat the hell out of her. But that's prison for you. You become the monster that they want you to be. However, the thing about this person that came because of Maggie, they end up sitting in prison until their family can get all their savings out to get a lawyer. It financially destroys people's life savings. I watched that in Port Harcourt prison. People, don't let impunity and people using the power of government to destroy you. Mr. Femi Falana was buying a lot of stolen goods from the EFCC. Now, the EFCC used to seize a lot of things from Yahoo Boys, cars, money, houses, and all that. The politicians, too. When a politician was convicted by Ribadu, a lot of time they seize the properties and all. You just read it in the news. Properties, 3 houses seized here and there. Falana was going there, buying those houses, selling them at auction, buying cars, and all that. Some of this stuff have been told to me for years by my dad. Ain't nobody can touch my dad. He's 89 years old, sitting on a wheelchair in Ibadan. But let me tell you something, he's still talking and it's fine. But the story of Nigeria, I would sit down at midnight till 3 in the morning, maybe 4 sometimes, be talking to my dad about the story of Nigeria. If you want to know how intellectual that man is, just go ask Dele Momodu or anybody else. Dele Momodu wanted to interview my dad on Instagram Live for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. It turned into a 7-hour interview. And Momodu said if we had left the airport now, we would be arriving in London now. 7 hours. I was watching the whole interview. Some of you remember that. So many things my dad has told me about Nigeria that will shock you. It's you that you don't want the truth. When I was telling you the story of the Adele case and all that, you didn't want to hear the truth. Or you thought about the coins, or see my chain. But I know the history of what destroyed Nigeria. We're going in a circle. We're going in a fucking circle. Everything the same. Corruption, corruption, corruption. When Falana was actually stealing, when Falana was actually buying stolen goods, and Buhari came into power. You know, Buhari came to say he came to fight corruption. Buhari has always been known as that anti-corruption leader. Buhari wanted Falana arrested and interrogated for buying all those things. Who gave him permission to buy those things? You have to go back to Nuhu Ribadu now. She be Ribadu in the NSC boss and say, but we're not to commit atrocities now. Atrocities have been committed everywhere. And if you ask Ribadu now, he'll tell you he doesn't remember, or he doesn't know that the people that were doing that. You know, these things, maybe that's the policy of the EFCC, to be selling things to people or auctioning things, but these are evidences of stolen property. I have seen courts in Nigeria actually determine some people were thieves and all that, Ibori and all that, you know, but should we really be selling all the things you took from them to people who are in conflict of interest? Even if you auction their stuff or you sell their stuff to people, it shouldn't be a human rights lawyer. So Buhari wanted to clamp on Falana. And Falana, you know, and people were begging Buhari not to. So they swept it under the carpet. He's part of the problem in Nigeria. So on this note, my appeal for Nigerians to rally around Mohbad's father is because Mr. Falana has obstructed justice as well. He's not left behind. Okay, they're protecting Wunmi, and Wunmi has a godfather in Abuja, just like Bobrisky has a godfather. They will all be exposed very soon. Bobrisky is a very, very big red flag because he was part of a conglomerate of celebrities, politicians, and people. The 70 million they allegedly said was donated to him in prisons because of the services Bobrisky is doing for these celebrities. Okay, when VDM said Bobrisky is fucking some people and he's having affairs and he's doing gay stuff with some big senators and all, I don't put him past that, because when you really look at it, a lot of these celebrities and their businesses, their stores, their shops, their restaurants, especially those female celebrities, a lot of it is coming from big politicians that Bobrisky pimps them to. So I'm saying it now for the first time. Bobrisky is a pimp. He pimps female celebrities to this big man in Abuja. Okay, just like he's also fucking them. Bobrisky is gay. Okay, he is gay. He's just a cross-dresser, but he's homosexual. There is nothing wrong with being homosexual. I'm going to do a separate video for that because Falls is complaining that they're accusing him of being gay, and he's making it look like a bad thing. I lived in US, Canada. I have gay friends, I beg, and I have lesbian friends. Nothing wrong with them. Maybe it's a gay law in our country or it's against our culture, but at the end of the day, Falls, what were you doing with Diddy? Now that we're looking at Diddy. Diddy I support, I love Diddy, but I'm watching this trial. What were you doing there? Were you there for fame or baby oil or what? Everyone has questions. Thanks for watching.